When I booked the role of Lori Bream, I was pretty confident that I understood what a VC did, because I watched Shark Tank. And so I knew that a VC was a billionaire, and they had enough money to toss it around and invest wisely in someone who that they could march off then and sell unnecessary plastic objects at Bed Bath & Beyond. After I booked the role of Lori Bream, I learned a little bit more, because I'm kind of a wonk and like to learn about what I'm doing, and I realized VCs don't need to be billionaires. Most aren't, few are. They don't even need to be terribly rich, but they do need to be certain things, or they don't need to be certain things, but they are certain things. They're white, and they're men. Okay, well, it doesn't seem fair, but why does it matter? What's the problem with a monoculture? I think when I started on Silicon Valley, the Alan Powell lawsuit was happening, and it was dominating the headlines. And I think all of us thought, oh my God, it's going to happen. Change it's really going to fucking happen now. And not so much. The needle's barely budged, and it's getting better. And firms like Chloe Capital are changing things, but we do need to think about where we are, why we're here, how we can change, and where we want to be. And after doing a deep dive into VC and Silicon Valley culture, I learned a lot, because there is a monoculture. For Silicon Valley, it's white, male, libertarian, young. For VC, it's less young and libertarian, but let's hold that thought, though. Let's talk about something really positive. Let's talk about women. Women, we control $5 trillion worth of investable assets. We are 80% of consumer spending. We're more than half of the workforce. We're 60% of college grads. We're starting businesses at 2 times the rate of men. But a but's coming. You see it. It's bigger than a Kardashian's. Less than 10% of global VC funding goes to female founders. In the US, fewer than 5% of all VC-funded firms have women. Even on the executive team, fewer than 3% have a female CEO. Even though female founders have a better return on investments. So hear this. VC firms that invest in women-led businesses have more positive performances than firms that don't. 38% of new businesses in the United States are female-founded, but only 2 to 6% get any VC money. Businesses with women of color, they get less than 1% of all VC funding every year. Black women's business ownership is the fastest growing among female founders. Yet VC funding for them, 0.2% goes to firms founded by women of color. Women founders garnered a mere 2.3% of VC dollars in 2018. Numbers are rising, but not fast enough. And yet female founders' companies outperform their male peers by 63% in terms of value for investors. Female entrepreneurs are good at identifying market opportunities, adapting to change, innovating, creating value, and keeping costs low. In fact, the Kaufman Index showed that female entrepreneurs are the most adept at capitalizing on market opportunities. So here I am, I'm playing Lori Bream, an imperfect woman, but damn it, I'm a woman, VC, in a world of men. And in my first season, I even talk about it. I say, I'm being heavily scrutinized, from within and without, and the pressure was enormous, but really it shouldn't be. Because not only do female-founded businesses outperform, female VCs outperform. Female VCs outperform their male counterparts. And this isn't about morality, this isn't about equity, this isn't about let's make things fair, everybody, it's a democracy, it's statistics. This is dollar signs. Women outperform. Lori shouldn't be nervous. She should be confident. Why? Well, funds managed by gender-balanced investment teams report significantly higher returns, 10 to 20% higher than male-dominated funds. And in private equity and VC investment portfolios, there's a 25% greater increase in valuation for gender-balanced teams. There's a financial incentive to include women in PE and VC. And all of this made me want to turn the mirror back on myself when I started learning this and think about the entertainment industry. because it's basically the same, right? These are industries marked by sexism, racism, and inequality. Let's talk about the entertainment business. Women are 51% of moviegoers. We have 30% of the speaking roles, and let's face it, most of them are shitty, right? We have 8% of the directing jobs, and I could list a bunch of statistics to you, but you know, they're crap. Female-driven films are dominating at the box office. Think Wonder Woman, Star Wars, Last Jedi, Beauty and the Beast, and it goes on and on and on. White male moviegoers diving down, while Latino and black moviegoers going up. And yet over and over and over again, the highest, most overpaid actors are white male actors. The wage gap between the men and the women isn't getting any better. The wage gap between actors of color and white actors is not getting better, despite huge high-profile hits like Straight Outta Compton and Girls Trip and Hidden Figures and Spider-Man Homecoming and Get Out and Us. This persistent myth that, well, but you know, diverse casts, they don't do well overseas, has been totally debunked. In fact, the opposite is true. The success of female-driven films and films with diverse casts